Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Apopka High School welcomes you to Joe Sterling Gymnasium for game number 16 of the 9th annual Metro versus Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic and Burn Fat Orlando. Please welcome our guests wearing the black jerseys. Visitors on the scoreboard representing the Florida contingency from Mount Dora Christian Academy. They are the Bulldogs. And wearing the white jerseys, home on the scoreboard, representing the Orlando Metro Conference from East River High School, please welcome the Falcons. Let's meet the teams. We'll begin with our guests from MDCA, and we will start at point guard with 6-foot sophomore number 0, Rodney Bryant. At shooting guard and small forward, 6'3" junior number 3, Edwin Chapman. At guard, 6'6" junior, number 22, Jabril Nadaye. At small forward, 6'4" senior, number 23, Dominic Chiota. And finally for the Bulldogs at shooting guard and small forward, 6'4" junior, number 34, Jack Webster. And the head coach of the Bulldogs in his 18th year at Mount Dora Christian, Mr. Stephen Hayes. And now let's meet the East River Falcons, starting at forward and center with 6'4" senior, number 10, Kale Ruano. At guard and forward, 6'1" senior, number 12, Jericho Cantale. At forward, 5'10" senior, number 30, Elijah Villanueva. At guard and forward, 6'2" senior, number 32, Bryan Sanders. And finally, for the Falcons at guard, 5'10" senior, number 35, Dominic Chiota. And the head coach of the Falcons in his second year at the home of East River, Mr. Wes Bello. The officials for this afternoon's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association here in Orlando. This game, like all of our games in the Metro versus Florida Challenge, is being live streamed. If you have friends and family who are not able to join us in person this afternoon and they would like to follow along from East River, from Mount Dora, from wherever they may be in the world, they can go to our YouTube channel, Metro versus Florida Challenge. You can also get links on our website, metrovsfl.com. We also have live stats, play-by-play streaming there as well, metrovsfl.com, or again on your favorite computer, mobile device, or smart TV on the big screen, you can look up our channel, Metro versus Florida Challenge. And welcome back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium for game number 16 as we head deeper and deeper into the Metro versus Florida Challenge. Offensive board there and a conversion. That is number 23, Dominic Chiota, puts the Bulldogs on the board. And my name is Mark Barchi. I am the media director for the Metro versus Florida Challenge. And I'm joined by Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief. We'll be taking you through this afternoon's game.
Well, thank you again, Mark. We've done this for 15 games now. Actually, this was our 16th game. So you do a fine job, as always, here, keeping things moving and great introductions.
Kale Ruano puts the Falcons on the board with a 3.
So, as you mentioned, this 16th game of the Metro versus Florida Challenge 2018, we got East River representing the Metro Conference, Mount Dora representing the Florida contingency.
Dominic Chiota is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 32. Bryan Sanders is first, the team's first.
Another game here in which the Florida contingency comes in as being represented by a team that's used to making deep runs into the FHSA postseason tournament, winning 20 games as well per season. That's Mount Dora Christian. They are 16-3 at this point. They were 24-6 last year. Their season came to an end in the regional final round. That's the round of 8. And they have great experience on the bench. I believe number 2 in the list of longevity and tenure. That's Stephen Hayes with 18 years. They come out Class 3A District 3, which is another feature. You got a team, not only do these teams representing Florida make long runs into the FHSA postseason tournament regularly, but they're also in the lower classes. So 3A District 3 for Mount Dora. Basically, they're a team whose sum of the parts is greater than any individual. They returned 4 players from last year. Look for Edwin Chapman, Jack Webster, and Jabril Nadai. And this year they got some talented guys coming in, as you would expect for a team that goes deep into the tournament. The names Rodney Bryant, Jay Spinelli, Dominic Scolari, and Dylan Van Noe will be mentioned a lot by Mark during this game. They play a high-speed, up-tempo. The idea is to create a lot of pressure.
No 3, and the rebound is going to go to the Falcons with Kale Ruano, who adds a lot of height and power to the Falcon effort there. And Villanueva is going to try to set up the play.
And looking over here at East River, they come out of District 8A5. Again, they're a team that's only been around for about 10 years.
Bryan Sanders picks up the jumper for the Falcons.
East River's only been in existence for about 10 years, but during those 10 years, they really haven't had a lot of success. Again, not sure really how to put it nicely, but they have been a middle-of-the-road team. Last year,
Spinelli into the game.
They were 10-16. They are now currently 6-7. The good news, though, is they come in on a 4-game winning streak, and they are trying to replace 3 starters from last year. This year's senior roster is Bryan Sanders, Kale Ruano, and Dominic Chiota. So keep an eye out for those games. And their forte, what they try to rely on, is being able to change the pace of the game. They are very consistent and efficient, both slow and fast up tempo.
Bryan Sanders for 3 from Kale Ruano. Bound to determine they were going to get that 3.
And as you mentioned, Mark, West Below is in his 2nd season. That's another problem that East River has faced. Again, we don't cover East River on a regular basis, but being that we do cover Wekiva and East River is a part of the Central Florida area, we do at least follow them on paper. They've had a number of coaches throughout their 10-year existence, East River that is.
Screening is called against Bryan Sanders. It's his 2nd, the team's 2nd.
So 4 minutes left. An 8-2 lead has actually been taken by East River here, shooting the ball well, around 50%.
Hold is called against Elijah Villanueva, his first, the team's 3rd. Webster spins for the jumper, can't get it. And the rebound is going to roll out of bounds. They're going to say it last touch the Bulldogs. Falcons will get the ball here.
So an opportunity here for East River to further extend that lead, can get it to 8, maybe even 11. And again, I have to admit, something of a surprise here, at least in the early going. I explained the situation, Mount Dora being the team that's used to making long runs into the tournament.
Elijah Villanueva with a second chance basket.
Against East River, who at 10-16 last year had one of their better records in seasons. And it's been East River taking the early lead here. And taking a 10-point early lead.
Kale Ruano on the pass from Villanueva, 4-2, and we'll pause for a timeout. 30-second timeout requested by the Bulldogs. And we'll take this opportunity to thank our signature sponsors for this event, presenting the Metro vs. Florida Challenge to you, Burn Fat Orlando, where they challenge you to lose up to 30 to 40 pounds. And in fact, if you don't start losing weight within the first 10 days, they'll refund your money. So step on the scale every day with a call to 855-889-THIN. That's 855-889-THIN to get the tools and guidance you need to achieve better health and your weight loss goals with an inviting atmosphere, friendly staff, and personalized programs that will get you fast results with real nutrition. Burn Fat Orlando.
So again, as we come back to live action, 3:47 left in the first quarter, Mark. I mentioned that the field goal shooting really has been the difference. I do have the official stats here. 1 of 8 for Mount Dora, 12.5%, and 5 of 10. So East River is shooting at exactly 50%, as Mount Dora missed another tray there. And you don't have to be the proverbial basketball guru to understand when you're going 50% against 12, there is going to be a 10-point difference. East River also, to complement that strong percentage, has a 9-4 advantage on the boards. Both teams so far have done a good job of holding on to the ball, valuing each possession.
Julius Osborne into the game for the Falcons.
Only 1 turnover by each team so far. Ooh, nice idea. They're going to the scoop. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the right angle there. And again, Mount Dora is now 1 of 11 from the field. And that is uncharacteristic of Mount Dora, at least the reputation, that's one of their characteristics, is they shoot the ball well.
Ruano's missed 3 will go to Spinelli. To the other end, we'll try for a 3 there as well. Won't go for Bryant. And the rebound will go to Bryan Sanders.
Nice job there by Sanders, coming down with that rebounding, using his body as a shield. Got up pretty high, too. As you can tell, he's one of the bigger players out there. 6'2" senior, but a very fluidic moving player.
And Chiota goes off the backboard equipment. That's effectively out of bounds. It'll go to the Bulldogs.
So now East River is also cooled off here, too. They've missed their last 4 shots. Of course, when you're up by 10 points, you can afford to miss a few shots more than the team that's behind by 10.
Jabril Nadaye picks up the basket. The pass came from Dominic Scolari.
And that was an important basket for Mount Dora. Obviously, we're still very early in the game, not even a quarter through, but they have just struggled so much from the field. They've gotten some good looks. They just have not been able to get the ball to go into the basket. So you need that to get some rhythm and some momentum. Establish that what you do well can lead to baskets.
Black 0.
Foul is called against number 0, Rodney Bryant, his first, the team's first. So that's the first foul, actually, believe it or not. Bulldogs have managed to make it for, 6.5 minutes here without keeping their noses clean. Kale Ruano gets in trouble and will pause as the Falcons call for a timeout. 30-second timeout requested by East River. And we'll take this opportunity to thank St. Germain Chiropractic Clinics, offering the best non-invasive healthcare services in the Central Florida, Orlando area. St. Germain Chiropractic Clinics accepts most insurance, and they can help you with back and neck pain, headaches, issues that arise from auto accidents or slip and fall injuries, and just about anything else that causes you pain. When in pain, call St. Germain. So we'll start at the corner here. Jabril Nadaye gets fouled on the rebound. The foul called against number 23, Jalen Salmon, his first, the team's fourth.
A lot of action under the basket there. Mount Dora remains determined to get that rebound. Did a nice job there again and drew the foul. And now Mount Dora is extending that defense right from the get-go here, all the way up to the half-court line. And again, mentioned Sanders. I can just tell after one quarter, he's one of the bigger players out there, but he's very fluidic and handling the ball. You don't see that much from a guy of his size. Again, a lot of action, a lot of hands being moving around after every loose ball. And now Mount Dora, as we've seen in most games throughout this tournament, they employ a man-to-man defense, although they do a lot of switching and pressing here.
Jalen Salmon picks up the jump shot for the Falcons.
White 23.
Foul is called against number 23. Salmon, that's his second, the team's fifth at the line, shooting 2, Dominic Scaleri. Dylan Sword into the game for the Bulldogs.
Dom, you're in the back.
So 8.5 seconds left here. One last opportunity for East River to reestablish that 10-point lead. Can't get it to go, though, and
that does not take us to the end of the first quarter. Jericho Cantave is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul called against Rodney Bryan is second, the team's second.
So best possible situation for East River. Opportunity to score those 2 points. Re-extend the lead back to 10. Can't do it, though. And again, I've said so many times throughout the course of this event, Mark, being able to score in that last minute or so is very, very important in my opinion. Gains you some momentum heading into that next quarter. And, of course, Mount Dora scored on the previous basket possession. So able to cancel some of that momentum that Mount Dora had as well.
And that takes us to the end of the period. At the end of the first quarter, it is a 15-6 lead. East River with a 9-point advantage at the end of 8 minutes. And we'll take this opportunity to thank our friends at Baptiste Orthodontics. They are great supporters of many schools here at Orange County Public Schools, a partner in education that you will see involved in a lot of programs. In particular, we want to thank them for their support of the Metro vs. Florida Challenge. They offer everything from the most traditional to the newest in orthodontic technology, ceramics, Invisalign, Propel, Clear Correct, and more. And they now have a third office right here in Apopka, making it more convenient than ever for you to get quality braces starting at $129 a month. They get you started for free, though. Free consultation, free x-ray, no down payment. Give them a call today, 1-800-300-7755. That's 1-800-300-7755.
So as we get back here to live action, Mark, a 9-point lead, as you mentioned, for East River. A bit of a surprise. Looking at paper, Mount Dora Christian Academy was the favorite. Looking at the field goal percentage, as we now have 2 in a row missed by East River. I think that 3. East River certainly has fallen off of its percentage. They're only 6 of 18 now at the end of the first quarter. Obviously 33%, that's a drop from 50. But nonetheless, that still has allowed them to keep the lead between 9 and 10 points, as Mount Dora is even worse, 2 of 14. And that is a percentage of 14%. So 33 versus 14 still gives East River the advantage.
Chapman picks up 2 for the Bulldogs.
And East River also holds a 15-10 advantage In the rebounds, both teams have turned the ball over only once.
And the Falcons continue to favor the three, and it's had mixed results for them so far, getting the job done, but not on that possession.
So East River, for its part, they have gone man-to-man throughout the whole game. I told you Mount Dora Christian Academy is actually playing man-to-man, but they do a lot of switching with that man-to-man. That's a bit unusual.
See whether the Falcons try to penetrate this time or whether they stick with the perimeter.
I haven't seen a lot of dribble drives by either team here, relying on the perimeter shooting, as you just saw there. And again, if you're East River, I suppose that is okay at this point. Holding the lead, you have some more room. Nonetheless, it shouldn't make a team very comfortable when you're shooting about 90% from the perimeter.
Black 22, black 22.
Fouls called against number 22. Jabril Nadaya, his first, the team's third.
So let me rephrase that last thought again. Not the fact that East River is shooting 90% as far as converting, but about 90% of their field goal attempts are coming from the perimeter.
Steal there by Spinelli, and we're going to go back the other way.
Again, Mark, a rare turnover. Only 2 committed total going into this quarter.
Checking into the game for the Falcons, number 30, Elijah Villanueva.
So for those of you who are my age, approaching 50, shades of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there. On, I guess, a semi-sky hook. Hard shot to make, though. Give East River credit.
Jack Webster into the paint for the layup.
And there you see a more conventional field goal attempt, driving into the lane, creating space, and banking the ball off the backboard.
Kale Ruano is fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 34, Jack Webster. His first personal foul on the team's 4th.
Golden opportunity here for East River to regain some momentum. And, you know, when you're East River and you're playing against Mount Dora, the team that's known for long runs, the team that wins 20 games, is heavily favored, at least on paper, you got to take advantage of every one of those opportunities. Of course, we saw that yesterday in both of the football games, the NFL playoffs. And I realize we're talking different sports, but the idea is still the same, that opportunities were not taken advantage of, which could have won the game for the 2 teams that lost. Again, only a 5-point lead for East River. That lead's been cut into. So every opportunity to re-increase that lead needs to be taken advantage of.
Julius Osborne on the layup.
Of course, that time they do. Osborne with a nice move there, clearing out. Now, in that possession, Mount Dora Christian did everything but put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, it was a good look and a good assist. Unfortunately, assists don't count if the ball doesn't go in.
Some old-fashioned physical basketball there, just putting your back against the defender and pushing him into the basket. Good job, though, by Mount Dora, though, on defending. As no space was given up, no creation was able to, there was no space able to be created.
Dominic Scolari in transition on the pass. from Jay Spinelli, and we'll pause for a timeout. Full timeout requested by the East River Falcons. And we'll take this opportunity to thank our friends at Elevate Orlando, a civic nonprofit that focuses on helping students to grow in strength of character and application of essential life skills. Their foundation also supports the Metro versus Florida Challenge, and they are both inside and outside the classroom. They have an accredited elective course with Orange County Public Schools, and their private employees are able to spend more than half their time outside of school as well, mentoring students. They have a 98% graduation rate and 96% placement at the post-secondary level. Check them out today at Elevate Orlando. For those of you in the arena, we also want to let you know we've had a cell phone turned into the score table. Neon green and neon blue OtterBox here. If that belongs to you, come and get it because we don't want it.
So now, as we get back to live action, 3 minutes left. Mount Dora is no longer going full court. They're going back to the three quarters. Nonetheless, still a lot of pressure. East River has done a very, very good job for the most part of breaking that pressure. Good passing, good movement. As you're seeing here, they're spreading the court out, which is what you need to do when you're playing pressure beyond half court. But especially when it is half court, not as much room to walk with. Remember, once you cross that half court line, you can't step back.
Bryan Sanders for three on the pass from Kale Ruano.
And I've mentioned Sanders lauded him throughout this first half. And again, now he shows us he's got some field goal range there, draining a tray, capping off a good possession for East River. Strong offensive rebounding there, but even better defense now as a hand is stuck in at the right time.
Yeah, nice work at the baseline there by the Falcons to prevent the fast break basket, and so now they're going to get an 8-point advantage still in their favor going into the last 2 minutes. Oh, and that was an unforced error, just a bad pass. Easy pickings.
So as I've been saying throughout this first half, Mark, the one thing you can say about both these teams, if you're looking for a positive, is they don't turn it over. Only 5 turnovers combined. Actually 6, excuse me, but nonetheless 6 is still a tremendous number.
Kale Ruano is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against number 34, Jack Webster, his second, the team's fifth.
So Mount Dora Christian is a very active team. I have noticed that here. I've been mentioning throughout the game they do move very quickly for the defensive formation and style they use, but they also move their hands and feet a lot. You got a lot of feet being moved up and a lot of hands getting in the way of the field of vision for the ball carrier, for the ball handler.
So 1 of 2 at the line makes it a 21-12 game. We've seen kind of a sudden slowdown in scoring. Nadaya gets his own rebound and is fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot two. The foul is called against number 10, Kale Ruano. That's his first personal foul, the team's sixth. Lane violation. Still one more shot.
Ooh, that could be a critical mistake, Mark. Obviously, opportunity to shut down Mount Dora there. Gave him another opportunity to score a point and taken advantage of. One minute left here, and East River continues to pass the ball well. And again, it's not just a matter of passing the ball to the right location, but being able to go from one side of the rink to the other.
Ruano for 3 on the pass from Villanueva.
And there you see the value, why you want to pass that ball from one side of the court to the other. That created an opening for that easy tray there because the defense has to switch as well with the pass. And the ball moves a lot quicker than a person does.
Jumper doesn't go. Rebound goes to the Falcons. Chiota.
And East River is going to hold on to the ball for the last shot here. You haven't really seen them slow down. They're not a tremendously fast team, but they do play a little bit better, a little bit faster than the average team.
Checking into the game for the Falcons, number 12, Jericho Cantave.
And they certainly have not intentionally slowed down.
Dylan Van Note in for the Bulldogs.
So this could be a very important possession if East River can score here. Get that 13-point lead going into half, which would be the biggest of the game. But more importantly, they would establish some momentum. Again, last minute before the halftime is so important to be able to establish that momentum. They've done a great job of being able to break Mount Dora's defense here as well.
And that takes us to halftime. It's a 24-13 ball game, an 11-point advantage for the Falcons here in Game 16 of the 9th Annual Metro versus Florida Challenge. And we'll take this opportunity to review your halftime stats, beginning with the Bulldogs. And the Bulldogs have Edwin Chapman with 2 points, Jack Webster 2 points, 3 rebounds, Jabril Nadai 3.6 rebounds and a steal. And leading the team for the first half, Dominic Scaleri 6 points, 3 rebounds and 1 assist. As for the Falcons, they have on the board Julius Osborne with 2 points, Jalen Salmon with 2 points, 3 rebounds. Elijah Villanueva, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. 1 point in the books on a free throw for Jericho Cantave. And their 2 top scorers, Bryan Sanders with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal, and Kale Ruano with 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. For those of you listening online, we're going to take a break for about the next 7 minutes, and then we'll be back with the second half of the Falcons versus the Bulldogs. East River leads Mount Dora 24-13 at halftime. Edwin Chapman opens up second half scoring with a 3. And welcome back. At least Edwin Chapman wants to welcome you back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium. Mark Barchi, the media director for the Metro versus Florida Challenge, here with Neil Fisher from the Apopka Chief for today's games. And that is Edwin Chapman again, this time with a little help from Dominic Skolin.
Yeah, and just like that, Mark, we're seeing a move made here by Mount Dora Christian.
Dominic Chiota for 3. The pass on that one came from Bryan Sanders.
So again, as we mentioned throughout that first quarter, no one shot the ball well. East River actually started off 5 of 10 in the first quarter, so they got off to a great start, and that's really been the difference as that lead has held throughout. They are now actually down to 9 of 32. Actually, both teams are 9 of 32. That's a percentage of only 28%. Both teams also have 27 rebounds.
Foul is called against number 12, Jorgo Cantave. That's the team's first basket by Chapman is good. He's at the line for the three-point play. And he has it.
So a quick start here to this second half for Mount Dora Christian. 8-2 here. Now they got a chance to get 10-2, cut further into that lead. And this is more of what you expected to see, at least looking at these two schools on paper. A nice tip out there to the teammate, getting up and tipping it in the right location.
Offensive charge called against Dominic Chiota, his first, the team's second. Edwin Chapman took that for the Bulldogs.
So 27-21 here. Mount Dora looking to cut further into that lead with just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. And again, the concept of the Metro versus Florida event challenge.
Edwin Chapman picks up the basket on the pass from Jack Webster. He also draws a foul called against number 12. Jericho Cantave on the block, his second, the team's third. Chapman shooting 1.
So the purpose is you take all the schools in the Metro Conference, at least in each of the 20 games, one of those schools are playing, and they play against a school outside of the Metro Conference, or if you prefer, the Florida contingency. Now, what is the Metro Conference? Well, that is all the schools located in Orange County.
All the public schools located in Orange County.
All the public high schools, excuse me for forgetting that.
Right, well, and of course Mount Dora wouldn't be anyway, but we do have some Orange County private schools participating in this event. Here comes to the paint, and you've got Ruano picking up the short jumper for the Falcons. And so that stops the bleeding a little bit in what has been an all-Bulldog second half.
Yeah, and again, this is why I go back, and I've talked about this throughout the course of this event.
Second chance basket made by Dominic Scolari. And there you see the advantage of having the perimeter. If you don't get it, you can still get a putback, and it effectively serves the same function as an assist, even though it's a missed field goal.
Yeah, but when you fall behind by a large lead early, it's just so hard to make up. Now, obviously, after that great offensive rebound there and bank off the board, it's kind of hard to argue with that. Certainly the momentum and rhythm is with Mount Dora Christian now. But when you look at everything Mount Dora Christian has done here through almost the first half of the third quarter, they're still down by 3 points. And East River has an opportunity to re-up the lead to 5. They're not going to be able to do it. So East River has gone man-to-man throughout this whole game. And nice job there of getting an open shot. Couldn't get the basket to go, too hard. Nonetheless, Mount Dora looks much better, much different team that they did in that first half. That shot 27%. 28%.
White 12, white 12.
Foul called against number 12, Jericho Cantavi. It's his third personal foul, the team's fourth, and Edwin Chapman will shoot 2.
So far here, again, just past the halfway point of third quarter, Mount Dora Christian has outscored East River by a 14-5 count. Could be 15-5 here. Ooh, Too Hard kicks off the heel. And something else I noticed, haven't seen this very often, but basically Mount Dora Christian is acquiescing. Nobody was down on the blocks for him on those free throws.
Villanueva on the pass from Bryan Sanders.
So Sanders, again, mentioned him in the first quarter there, first half, very much more active, much more fluidic player than you would expect for someone of his size.
Traveling, Falcons ball.
And there you saw it on that last layup with a beautiful pass, getting his teammate open underneath the basket.
Osborne picks up the layup, and that was just blown coverage.
Along with, though, a great move there, spinning when you saw that the mistake was made. So lead back up to 6.
Foul is called against number 4, Julius Osborne on the block, his first, the team's 5th. Nadaya at the line. Checking into the game for the Bulldogs, Dominic Chiota. For 2 at the line. That was an opportunity to get it much closer.
Yeah, again, now East River has re-extended that lead to 6 points. And now they have a chance to go up by 8 or even 9. That's the importance of those free throws.
Black 0.
Foul called against number 0, Rodney Bryan, his third, the team's first.
So now Mount Dora has played very good defense here. And
Kale Ruano picks up 2.
And as soon as I say that, East River makes another nice play, lead back up to 8. And again, it just emphasizes how difficult it is to get back into the game when you fall behind early.
Chapman gets his own rebound. Rodney Bryant picks up 3 and will pause for a timeout called by the Bulldogs. 30-second timeout.
Can I see it?
No, because I'm wrong. How many points do you have for White 10? How about White 32? How about White 30? There it is. 2 twos, I assume?
2 in the second, 2 in the third.
Thank you.
So as we come back here to live action, Mark, Once again, about half a dozen times this quarter, the lead's been cut down to 5.
Nadaye fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 32, Bryan Sanders. That's his 3rd personal foul, the team's 6th.
So getting into transition quickly set up these free throw opportunities. Mount Dora Christian only 2 of 6 at halftime. So 2 more free throws go by the wayside there.
Yeah, and the Bulldogs won't even contest the rebound.
Yeah, they're not even putting anybody on the blocks here. And again, opportunity for Mount Dora. Granted, they're only 5 points, but they've squandered about 5 or 6 points here.
Rodney Bryant on the layup.
Once again, quick transition, setting up that easy basket. Couple of nice passes after getting the rebound there.
Checking into the game for the Bulldogs, number 34, Jack Webster.
So a much different looking Mount Dora Christian team has come out here in the 3rd quarter, and with half a minute left, almost half a minute, they have given themselves an opportunity to win this, but East River has been doing enough to maintain that lead every time it looks like Mount Dora Christian is about to get on a run.
Block is called against Jay Spinelli, his first team 2nd. Salmon shooting.
Every time it looks like Mount Dora Christian is about to get onto a run, get into that 3rd possession of scoring consecutive points, East River comes up with a nice, definitive, reestablishing their game type of play. So 1 of 2 free throws, and we're left with a 5-point lead here as we get under 30 seconds. Looks like Mount Dora Christian is just going to take the last shot here. Good move, good decision. You don't want to give East River an opportunity to reestablish that lead to 7 or even 8. 10 seconds now. The basket would be a big-time help here for Mount Dora Christian. East River, though, is playing good defense, and they're just going to hoist it up. Prayer was not answered there. Came close.
That takes us to the end of the 3rd period, and the Bulldogs have erased much of the halftime deficit. It's now a 5-point ball game. 37-32 is your score going into the last 8 minutes of game number 16 here at the 9th annual Metro versus Florida Challenge. We'll take this opportunity to remind you that if you are here in the arena and you didn't have a chance to pick one up on the way in, we do have programs available for purchase. They are just $1 each, which is actually less than it costs us to make them. But we want to have everybody have an opportunity to learn about these 39 teams that are participating in these 20 games. For the Metro versus Florida Challenge, you'll find the season outlook, team info, and rosters for all 39 teams. You'll also find the full schedule. Up next, we have the Timber Creek Wolves taking on the Lake Brantley Patriots. That game is scheduled to start at 3:30. It's going to be close. We are going to be close to on time for that game, depending on how the 4th quarter goes here. We'll get that started as quickly for you as we can. If you are watching us online, obviously you can't pick up a physical program from the admission table. No problem, though. You can download a full-color one absolutely free on our homepage, metrovsfl.com.
So, Mark, as we get back to live action, what was a good start from the field by East River has really deteriorated. They were, again, 5 of 10. They were at 50%, 5 of 10, 50% in both 2-point and 3-point range. After the first quarter, they have now only connected on 14 of 43. That's a percentage of 33. Mount Dora has not fared any better. They are only 12 of 43. And a percentage of 28%.
Black zero.
Fouls called against Rodney Bryant, his 4th personal foul, the team's 3rd this half.
So I guess, again, you could look at East River's percentage of 33 and say that is a very poor field goal, especially when you consider, again, it dropped all the way from 50% in the first quarter. But, again, it's still, when compared to Mount Dora Christian, better, and that has really kept them in the lead. And, of course, taking that translated to an early 10-point lead, and they're still holding that. What really sticks out to me, though, is this is really a case of what Mount Dora hasn't done as opposed to what either team has done, and that's at the free throw line. Only 6 of 14 for Mount Dora Christian.
Dominic Scolari for 3 on the pass from Spinelli.
So East River has shot only 4 of 8. Again, nothing that really sticks out in itself, but when compared to Mount Dora, it is better. But the big thing about Mount Dora shooting only 6 of 14 is that's 8 points that have been left on the table there, and they're down by 2. Both teams have done an excellent job of holding on to the ball. Low turnovers, only 6 for East River and 4 for Mount Dora, as we are now 6.5 minutes away from the end of this game. What was an 11-point lead at halftime has been cut down to 2 by Mount Dora Christian.
Out of bounds, Bulldogs ball.
And, of course, no sooner do I laud and compliment East River for turning the ball over 6 times. They do a self-inflicted turnover. Some damage to themselves, and now Mount Dora with an opportunity to take the lead. They can't quite do it. Again, trying to get too fancy, overthinking the room. They are going to get another opportunity, Mount Dora Christian here.
Edwin Chapman is fouled on the attempt to go to the line and shoot 2. The foul is called against number 3, Stephen Matthias. That's his 1st personal foul, the team's 7th.
After the first. Is it a 1-on-1 or 2 shots? A 1-on-1, okay.
Checking into the game for the Falcons, number 35, Dominic Chiota. At the line shooting 1-1 is going to be Edwin Chapman.
So an opportunity here for Mount Dora Christian to tie this ball game. They've struggled very hard in the second half to get past that 4-5 point deficit hump. They've finally done that, and now an opportunity to tie the ball game. And guess what, Mark? We have a tied ball game here with just under 6 minutes left.
Yeah, who knew late in the second quarter that we were going to have a photo finish here? Of course, that's what we want. I mean, you were mentioning that this is patterned off of the ACC versus Big Ten, but we know that there's a little more art to it than that since we don't have those rankings. All right, let's see. Are they going to call this a charge or a block? It's going to involve Dominic Chiota and Jay Spinelli. The question is who's on the good side of the foul and who's on the bad side of it. And if it's a block, then it's a basket.
So, and I also forgot to mention this, with their 16-3 record, Mount Dora Christian is 18th in the Orlando Sentinel rankings.
No basket. Offensive foul is called against Dominic Chiota. Oh, excuse me. It was a loose ball foul, so the basket is still good. It was after the shot. And so the basket by Chiota still counts.
So Mount Dora Christian, number 18 in the Orlando Sentinel rankings. They're also number 4 in the Class 3A Max Prep rankings. So, again, I've been saying it throughout the whole game. This has been a surprise, even if East River does not win, to be able to contend for a victory here. At least when you look at the stats and the records on the paper. Of course, Mount Dora Christian did not look like they were playing their game. They did not look like the Mount Dora Christian team that I assume would make up the 16-3 record.
Still a lot of preference for perimeter shooting here. We haven't seen either team really favor those pick and roll kind of plays that are more common at the higher levels of basketball.
Poor field goal shooting throughout this entire game. Well, not throughout. East River did start off strong, but for the most part, free throws continue to be missed. I mean, for field goals. So now, both teams have had opportunities to put together a run here and take control of this game, be able to exert their game and their strength. Neither team has been able to. Failed opportunities.
Fast break basket for Julius Osborne.
And again, we do have a similar game to what happened in our first game where Apopka took on Lake Minneola. In that particular game, Apopka led for about 3.5 quarters. Lake Minneola cut the lead down to about 5 points, and then you went through about 3 minutes where neither team was really able to take control of the game. They had about a dozen opportunities between the two of them. Just some bad decisions and some bad play left the door open, and finally Apopka in the last 2 minutes put the game away. They went on about a 7 out of 8 possession streak where they scored and held Lake Minneola scoreless with some good play, some good execution. And we're seeing that here now with a 41-37 lead by East River.
Full timeout is requested by the Falcons. And that will leave 2 timeouts on the board for them, 3 for the Bulldogs. As we head into the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the ball game, we'll take a look at our top performers. Edwin Chapman has 16 points, 2 rebounds for the Bulldogs. Dominic Scolari with 11 points and 6 rebounds. And the Falcons have just one person in double figures. That's Kale Ruano with 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Bryan Sanders is following up with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. We want to thank the city of Apopka, in particular Commissioner Kyle Becker, for his support of the Metro vs. Florida Challenge. We also want to thank AM 1520 WBZW. They are great supporters of Blue Darter Athletics all year long. But in particular, we want to thank them right now for their generous promotion of the Metro vs. Florida Challenge, helping us to get the word out about this incredible 20-game showcase.
So approaching 3.5 minutes mark. A 4-point lead here for East River. And again, to sum up what I was saying before that timeout, this game is really up for grabs here. It's a matter of who's going to be able to put together a streak of possessions in which good play is executed and resulting in being able to score a few more baskets. Both teams have remained in man-to-man throughout this entire course. I don't expect that to change.
Let's fix the scoreboard at the bottom. I cheated the Falcons out of 2 points.
Well, Mount Dora again with an opportunity to cut into this lead here. 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
Edwin Chapman for 3 on the pass from Rodney Bryant, and we'll pause for a full timeout called by Mount Dora. And full timeout requested by the Bulldogs.
What's our timeout situation?
I have 2 each.
Kevin.
And a reminder that on our programming notes, we have lots more basketball coming your way. We have 4 more to take you through today, and that will start with Timber Creek versus Lake Brantley. That's coming up. It's scheduled for a 3:30 start time. We're going to be pretty close to that, I think. Timber Creek returning 4 starters off a 10-16 team and looking to be competitive in a very tough District 9A4. The Patriots, for their part, having a good year so far. Through December, they were 8-4, and they're looking to rebound from last season. They finished a little under 500 and only returned 2 players, but Sparky Faber and Isaac Ogando will look to lead them. And so they will have the Wolves versus Patriots next. Then Ocoee versus Mariner is at 5 o'clock. Windermere versus CFCA at 6:30. And we'll wrap up the night with Winter Park versus the First Academy at 8.
So once again here, a 41-40 lead by at East River. Again, that strong start where they took a 10-point lead and shot 50% of the field has carried them to the lead. Mount Dora Christian has come close to taking the lead here several times in this quarter.
Chiota for 3 on the pass from Osborne.
But what you just saw there has happened every single time that lead has been challenged. An answer has been mounted by East River. Again, good passing from the inside to the outside to open up the shot there in the first place. 2 minutes left now, and you can feel the intensity picking up here as East River remains in man-to-man as well.
Putback scored by Nadaye, and we'll pause for a full timeout requested by the Bulldogs. Again, full timeout called by Mount Dora. That leaves them with just 1 timeout remaining, and the Falcons have 2. We'll take this opportunity to thank our friends at Burn Fat Orlando, where you can lose up to 30 to 40 pounds, and they will put their money behind that. If you don't lose weight within the first 10 days, obviously not 30 to 40 pounds, but if you don't start losing weight within the first 10 days, they'll refund your money with their money-back guarantee. So step on the scale every day and watch the pounds melt as you call Burn Fat Orlando, 855-889-THIN. That's 855-889-THIN, offering the tools and guidance you need to achieve better health and your weight loss goals with an inviting atmosphere, friendly staff, personalized programs that will get you fast results with real nutrition. Burn Fat Orlando, lose up to 30 to 40 pounds. We also thank St. Germain Chiropractic Clinics, the best non-invasive healthcare services in the Central Florida, Orlando area. They accept most insurance, so if you have back or neck pain, headaches, or injuries, call St. Germain Chiropractic Clinic when in pain.
So now we have 1 minute, 40 seconds left, marking a 2-point lead by East River. Again, they took the lead. An 11-2 run began this game, and they've maintained that lead throughout. They led by as many as 15. Mount Dora coming back in the third quarter, and they've been hanging around, not trailing, not letting the lead grow by more than 5 points.
And it seems like these teams are bound to determine to let us not start the next game on time. Full timeout is requested here by the Falcons. Again, East River calls for a full timeout. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you are following us on Facebook and Twitter. We are at Metro VSFL. You'll get real-time updates from our events, as well as news and information about the event itself. That's at Metro VSFL. And of course, those of you who are watching us online already know where to find us. We are the Metro versus Florida Challenge on YouTube. If you are going to have to leave us at some point this afternoon, if you're here in person, and you'd like to follow along with the rest of the games this afternoon, you can do so on our website and our YouTube channel. It's Metro versus Florida Challenge. Make sure you subscribe while you're there so that you can catch us every year. And then also don't forget about our website, metrovsfl.com. We have live play-by-play stats as well as records and history about the event and the complete schedule and downloadable program, metrovsfl.com.
So 1 minute, 33 seconds left, and as I said, about midway through this fourth quarter, Mark, we've reached that point where who wants to win this, they're going to have to put together a stretch of about half a dozen possessions of good play here.
Fouls called against Bulldogs number 2, Jace Spinelli. That's his second, the team's fourth.
So both teams have put together stretches in which you've seen what I call a mini run as far as the impact between 4 and 7 points. But other than that run which opened the game by East River and it gave them the lead which they've held throughout, we have not seen a full-blown run which has really impacted this game.
And the Falcons get in trouble. Osborne nearly lost the ball to a jump ball, and so the Falcons will spend their final timeout. 30-second timeout called by the Falcons. Was it full? I had a 30, but whatever. They had a 30 left. Yeah, is this a 30? Because I think that's all they have. Oh, it is a full. Okay. Down there, so.
Yes, sir.
And that is the final timeout called by the Falcons. Again, coming up next here at the Metro versus Florida Challenge, Timber Creek versus Lake Brantley. That is probably going to start maybe a couple minutes late, but it should be close to on time. It's scheduled for a 3:30 p.m. start time, and it is our 4th of 7 games out of this 20-game showcase as the Falcons here are holding on to a 2-point lead, trying to carry the torch for Metro and get them up to a 9-6 lead headed into the final 3 games of our event.
Got it. No timeouts left.
So as I was saying here before we went to that timeout, other than East River putting together that run of 10 points here at the beginning of the game, we haven't seen a big directed run which has changed the direction of this game. We have seen about half a dozen streaks of 4 to 6 points from both teams. And we're now down to showtime here. Who wants it? Who's going to win it? You got to make those possessions count. And there's exactly what I was talking about.
Bryan Sanders picks up 2 for the Falcons.
And again, mentioned throughout the game, Sanders is a very smooth, fluidic man, especially for his size. And there it comes through. Strong offensive rebounding, what Mount Dora Christian needs, but they can't come down with the second. And again, it's Sanders who gets his body in there and makes something happen, getting that rebound.
Push is called against number 23. Dominic Scolari is first, the team's 5th.
So opportunity here for East River to really win this game here, get a 3rd consecutive possession. Again, like I said, in my opinion, that is the borderline between being able to make a run and take control of a game.
Edwin Chapman is called on his first personal foul, the team's 6th. So now the Bulldogs going into a foul defense.
And full court as well.
Yep, now they finally have managed to get up to bonus, which is what I think they were trying to do. Foul is called against number 23. Dominic Scolari is second, the team's 7th. Checking back in for Mount Dora, Jack Webster. And at the line, shooting 1-and-1 bonus for the Falcons, Kale Ruano.
So again, free throw shooting has been just as bad as the field goal percentage. 4 of 8 for East River after 3 quarters. 6 of 14 for Mount Dora Christian. And if you look at the stats, that's really the one that really differentiates the teams right now. Not so much, maybe not necessarily what East River has done, although they did get that free throw as you saw, but what Mount Dora Christian has not done. They've missed 8 free throws, 8 points left on the table in a 5-point game. And again, Mark, as I said, only 4 of 8 going into the 3rd quarter, and that was the first 2 shot by East River, but when they absolutely had to have them, both of them go down. Now, 6-point lead, Mount Dora Christian has to go to the 3-point field goal attempt. And there's the first, and no, and that should do it with only 15.2 seconds left.
Hold is called against number 23, Dominic Scolari, his 3rd, the team's 8th, and Julius Osborne will shoot bonus.
And I think if he makes one of these 2 free throws, Mark, I think that'll put the victory on ice, as they say. But he doesn't, so hope remains alive here. Mount Dora's got to get it up quickly.
Oh, no.
That should do it now.
Checking into the game for the Falcons, Dominic Chiota.
And you would not expect Mount Dora Christian to make a self-inflicted mistake and damage like that. There was nobody near him. He just simply dropped the pass along the sidelines.
Who was foul on?
Black 2.
So 9 seconds left here.
Foul called against Chase Spinelli, his third, the team's 9th. Shooting bonus, Dominic Chiota.
So barring a miracle here, the difference is going to be that run at the beginning of the game as East River opened up a 10-point lead, and they have carried that lead throughout the entirety of the game. Mount Dora Christian was able to tie the game midway through the third quarter, but they couldn't quite get over that hump. And looking at the stats, what was a poor shooting game all around for both teams, the biggest difference, though, was at the free throw line where Mount Dora Christian left 8 points on the table.
That takes us to the end of the ball game, and it is a 48-42 victory in a real photo finish, one of the best and closest games that we have had so far at the Metro versus Florida Challenge, and that will improve the Metro record to 9-6 as we head into the last 4 games in the home stretch. Coming up next here, Timber Creek against Lake Brantley. We'll be bringing that to you live online as well. For those of you watching us online, please be aware that you will need to exit this live stream and go into the next one, Timber Creek versus Lake Brantley, because each of our games is on its own separate live stream. And we will see you there in a little under 10 minutes.